Some of you are smiling in public while silently falling apart inside. You pray but still feel anxious. You believe in God but still battle fear. You trust Him but secretly wonder why life keeps hurting. And the hardest part? Nobody sees the war happening in your mind, the disappointment, the exhaustion, the silent questions you never say out loud. But what if this painful season is not proof that God abandoned you? What if the struggle is preparation? What if the delay is shaping the person you are becoming? Because God does His deepest work in hidden seasons. This message is for the person who feels tired, discouraged, overlooked, and close to giving up. God is not finished with your life. God's delay is not God's denial. God's delay is not God's denial. That truth becomes difficult to believe when life feels silent and prayers seem unanswered. There are seasons where you do everything you know to do. You pray, stay faithful, keep showing up, yet nothing changes. Doors remain closed, opportunities disappear, people walk away, and slowly frustration tries to convince you that God has forgotten you. But delay is often where God develops depth. Some blessings arrive too early and destroy people who are not spiritually prepared to carry them. That waiting season may actually be protecting your future, strengthening your character, and teaching you dependence on God instead of dependence on comfort. While you are asking God for outcomes, He is shaping identity. The hidden seasons matter. The quiet seasons matter. Growth that lasts usually happens where nobody applauds. Sometimes God delays because your heart needs healing before your hands receive responsibility. Sometimes He delays because the wrong people must leave before the right doors open. Sometimes He delays because your faith must become rooted deeper than emotions. Trusting God in uncertainty builds spiritual maturity. It teaches patience, discipline, humility, and endurance. Every difficult season carries an invitation to know God beyond surface level belief and to walk by faith instead of visible evidence. Your pain can become your purpose. Your pain can become your purpose. The wounds you once tried to hide may become the very place where God reveals His strength through your life. Many people spend years ashamed of what hurt them. Heartbreak, rejection, failure, abandonment, anxiety, not realizing those struggles can produce compassion, wisdom, and spiritual depth that comfort alone could never create. Pain changes people, but pain surrendered to God transforms people. There are lessons learned in broken seasons that success can never teach. When everything falls apart, you begin to discover what truly sustains your soul. You learn how fragile human approval is. You learn how temporary emotions are. You learn how desperately you need God's presence, not just His blessings. The people who carry the deepest peace are often those who survive the hardest battles. God has a way of taking what was meant to crush you and using it to strengthen others through your story. Your survival becomes encouragement. Your healing becomes proof that restoration is possible. Your scars become reminders that God kept you alive through seasons you thought would destroy you. Do not waste your suffering by becoming bitter. Let it make you wiser, softer, stronger, and more dependent on God. Some of the most powerful people are not those who avoided pain, but those who allowed God to reshape them through it. Faith grows strongest in hard seasons. Faith grows strongest in hard seasons. Anyone can praise God when life feels comfortable, predictable, and successful. But real faith is revealed when everything around you becomes uncertain. It is built in moments where you cannot see the outcome, yet you still choose to trust God anyway. Hard seasons expose what you truly believe. When prayers seem delayed and emotions become heavy, people often discover how much of their peace was attached to circumstances instead of God's presence. Difficulty has a way of stripping away shallow confidence and teaching dependence on something eternal. That is why painful seasons can produce deep spiritual maturity. There are battles that force you to pray differently. Loss can humble the heart. Rejection can break pride. Waiting can teach patience that success never could. God often uses uncomfortable seasons to shape endurance, wisdom, and inner strength. Faith is not emotional hype. Faith is remaining steady when feelings fluctuate. It is waking up tired and still choosing prayer. It is continuing to obey God when fear tells you to quit. It is refusing to let disappointment turn your heart cold. Some of the strongest people spiritually are those who kept believing while carrying pain nobody else understood. They learned how to worship through tears, trust through confusion, and stand firm when life tested everything they claimed to believe. God is preparing you while you wait. God is preparing you while you wait. Waiting seasons often feel frustrating because people naturally focus on what has not happened yet. They look at closed doors, delayed opportunities, and unanswered prayers, believing nothing is moving forward. But heaven can be doing its deepest work during the quietest moments of your life. Waiting is not wasted when God is involved. There are things God must build inside you before certain blessings arrive. Character matters more than speed. Wisdom matters more than recognition. A person can receive opportunities too early and lose them because their inner life was never strengthened enough to sustain them. While you are asking God to change your situation, He may be changing your mindset, your habits, your priorities, and your spiritual foundation. Growth often happens slowly. Discipline is developed privately. Emotional healing takes time. Confidence rooted in God is usually formed through repeated moments of uncertainty and trust. Many people want immediate answers, but preparation requires patience. Roots grow before fruit appears. The strongest foundations are built where nobody sees the process. God may be teaching you consistency while nothing exciting is happening. He may be teaching humility while others overlook you. He may be teaching surrender while your plans unfold differently than expected. The waiting season can become the training ground where your future strength is formed. Fear cannot lead a faith-filled life. Fear will always tell you to stay small, stay silent, and stay stuck. Faith calls you to trust God beyond comfort, beyond doubt, and beyond what your eyes can currently see. Healing begins with surrender to God. Healing begins the moment you stop carrying everything alone and place your pain before God. Surrender is not weakness. It is trusting that His peace is greater than your struggle. Discipline today creates strength tomorrow. Small acts of obedience shape strong spirits. Praying when you feel weak, staying faithful when nobody notices, and honoring God daily builds the inner strength needed for the battles and blessings ahead. Rejection may be God's redirection. Some doors close because God sees what you cannot. Rejection can protect your purpose, remove the wrong people, and guide you toward the place where your faith, growth, and calling will truly flourish. God's promises are greater than your doubts. Doubt speaks from fear, but God's promises speak from truth. Even in weakness, uncertainty, and delay, His word remains steady, reminding you that your future is held by a faithful and unchanging God. Trust God even when you cannot see the outcome. Faith means continuing to walk when clarity has not arrived yet. God often works in hidden ways, shaping your path, protecting your heart, and preparing blessings long before you understand the reason for the wait. At some point, every person must decide what will control their life, fear or faith. You cannot keep carrying yesterday's pain while asking God to lead you into a new future. Healing requires surrender. Growth requires discipline. Purpose requires trust. Many people spend years waiting for life to become easier while God is calling them to become stronger. The breakthrough is not only about changed circumstances. It is about becoming someone who walks with deeper faith, greater wisdom, stronger character, and complete dependence on God. The struggle you survived was shaping you. The waiting season was preparing you. The rejection was redirecting you. God was building endurance in places nobody could see. Now is the time to let go of fear, bitterness, doubt, and spiritual passivity. Pray with conviction. Walk with courage. Trust God beyond emotions, because the life God is calling you toward will require faith greater than comfort, obedience greater than excuses, and confidence rooted completely in Him.